Hi everybody, it's Derek Perniciglio for Super Clean. And whether you work around the shop, the garage, or the home, spills are going to happen. And now, Super Clean introduces their new Super Clean floor absorbent into their new product line to make cleaning up spills faster and easier. This all-natural product comes in an easy-to-pour 3-pound shaker jug. Just shake out the amount you need over your spill, give it a few minutes to absorb, and then clean up in an instant. Unlike traditional clay products, this product is virtually dust-free and absorbs 4 times faster. Now, we break out our Super Clean cleaner and degreaser for a 1-2 punch to clean up the stain completely. You can pick up your own 3-pound shaker jug of all-natural Super Clean at AutoZone, and you can also check us out at superclean.com. Super Clean, super easy, super fast, super clean.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Podium Esports coverage of the 4th round of the 2022 iRacing Short Course National Series, live from the short configuration of iRacing's virtual Crandon International Raceway in Crandon, Wisconsin. My name's Justin Prince. Alongside me in the booth tonight is Dave Arnold, the voice of off-road. Our producer this evening is Ryan Bauer. Ryan is using cameras engraved for the circuit while using cameras for the truck provided by the great Ducky Beard. We're happy to have you along with us, whether you're watching tonight from Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube, as we get ready for race 4 of the campaign. It's been a very crazy start to the season so far, but it's going to be interesting how things fare out on the short version here at Crandon.
Well, it's a little bit different here. I mean, they're used to running the long course here at Crandon. Now we're going to put them in, I like to call the bull ring of short course. It's tight, it's fast, and boy, those laps are going to be clicking them down. So staying out of trouble is going to be key there, big for sure. But it's been a great season already. You know, we've got some mix-up in the points, but looking forward to see what the short course is going to bring for us tonight.
A lot to discuss when it comes to that side as we take a look at the schedule. Keep in mind, we've been at Crandon once at the full layout, then went to Bark River before heading to Wild Horse Pass. But Crandon short the second of essentially 3 stops to this facility before heading back over to Wild West Motorsports Park. This is the meat and potatoes of the schedule, the middle portion that is so critical if you want a championship run, Dave.
Oh yeah, definitely. You got to be clean out there. We've seen what the Carnage can, basically change things up. Took some leaders down. Man, it's going to be a scrappy fight though for sure.
Let's take a look at the Google Earth for tonight as we are back at Crandon International Raceway in the state of Wisconsin. And let's talk about this layout, Dave, because it is much more shorter compared to the big circuit, just 1 mile, 1.6 kilometers.
Oh, definitely, and I'll tell you, it's going to keep it right in front of the crowd. That's what's so cool about it. As you can see, they're coming around to go through the gravel pit, go through the Calamity Corner, and man, they're right back around, coming around. They don't even do the big turn. They get the land rush start, but that's it. That's about the longest run they're going to have.
And in turn, remember how crazy things got for the land rush start, the last stop here at Crandon, and that was with the full layout. Instead, it's turn 1 instead as we take a look at your race analysis for tonight. Keep in mind the distance, 18 laps the main, competition caution at the end of lap 8, remember, and there are 4 heats this evening, up to 4 available, as well as several LCQs. 3 total are available with the top 2 advancing from each of them, Dave. So in our words, a little bit more LCQ space for drivers to get themselves into the feature.
Yeah, it's going to be a quick, though, I'll tell you. If you're going to make the moves, you're going to be surprised how fast these laps are run on them. I know we say in the main event, we got 18 laps. Well, I'll tell you what, the heat races, the LCQs, they're going to be quick, and they're going to be short before they know it. So if you don't get in the position, you're going to be in trouble.
So much to think about in turn, especially with how things have fared out for the championship as referred to. Connor Berry enters tonight with a 16-point advantage over Keaton Swain. Or that is after the situation that happened last round with Keaton Swain in the incident. He was in the end credited with 7th place points. The driver who was involved in that said situation has received significant discipline, a lifetime ban from series sanctioned competition. It's a long story. That in turn make an major impact on the championship, because without those P7 points, Swain would be very far back in the standings. Instead, he's still in the mix for the championship, although he needs to catch up starting tonight, Dave.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's only a couple points, I believe 1 point separating in the points right now, but losing those points, man, they had a lot of impact on what was going on out there. Keaton Swain's been on point for the first couple rounds. Well, fortunate what happened, but I think he's going to move on tonight and show us something that going to dig a little deep. I think he's got something to show himself for.
Now, keep in mind, qualifying is underway. Drivers have an hour 5 minutes to be able to put times up on the board, and as to be expected, majority of the drivers have completed their circuits. With how short this track is, Felix Roy, who is on a hot streak entering tonight, has the current top time, 43.7. Keaton Swain, Tyson Miller, Connor Berry, and oopsie, Crystal King rounds out the top 5, separation 3/10 amongst the top times. Amongst some of the air drivers currently setting times, Gervaiso, who is amongst those making their first stops and starts tonight, should say. So have Matt Sabre, who is on the circuit. But there's also several newcomers making their first start of the year, Dave, tonight. Gary Sexton amongst them, but even more noteworthy is a very familiar name when it comes to off-road, when it comes to stadium super trucks, and when it comes to stock car racing. It's the one, the only Sheldon Creed making a start tonight.
Yeah, good old Creedy Creed. It's good to have him back. I've watched him grow up in the sport. Very talented young driver. Basically following in, the footsteps of what Jimmy Johnson did. He came from off-road, moved into NASCAR. Well, look where Sheldon is. Several young drivers have come out of this sport, and I'll tell you, having Sheldon back is an honor, an awesome, great.
Now heading back towards our direction with under 4 minutes to go on the board in qualifying. A few drivers have not set qualifying times. Sexton, Nicholas Dachele are the only two drivers who have not done so. Hence why drivers will have a bit of a breather here. But in terms of the times you've seen on the left side of your screen, a lot of the drivers who have been up at the front are up at the front in qualifying. But amongst those who are also up towards the front, Creed, who we refer to, who runs a lot of sim racing. Pylons now left side of screen as well to help emphasize this. You also have good runs from Ethan Ebert and Tom Grady as well.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm seeing another name up here. Great to see him join the series. Cheryl Monty, that's Sheldon's cousin. So, we got Bronson and Braden, both the cousins. They've done a lot of racing there, but I'm trying to see if that's Bronson or Braden. I think it's Braden. Braden is 73, because 74 used to be Creed's number, and I know his cousin Russell ran that too. So great to see them, and look at them sitting right now in qualifying, right behind each other. It's been a little time since we see them on the track here in the virtual world, so it's going to be interesting to see how they do.
Drivers are getting asked if they are willing to be able to get rolling for tonight's heats early. Based on the timing count, we'll see if that comes to be, but here's the wrinkle. Nicholas Dachele actually just joined the racetrack, so in other words, there may be a couple more moments before we get under qualifying. Again, two drivers have not set times. 50 drivers have made their way to Crandon for tonight's action. Before we get ready for tonight's heat racing action, I'd like to take the time to thank the sponsors for their support. Series, CBR Performance Products, AIM Sports Data, Super Clean, Dirt Sports World, Signature Propellers, Positive Beverage, and Smith Graphics for their support. Their support is a big part of why the prize pool for this respective series is more than $1,000 coming in. Remember, there are also prizes for least incident points throughout the season, the most fast laps, and who the most popular driver is. Better make sure to cheer on your favorite competitor. Under 2 minutes to go on the clock. The 23 Dachele has not hit the racetrack yet. Gary Sexton has also not hit the track still during this time. But I want to get towards you, Dave, in terms of your expectations tonight, because we know how crazy that land rush was for the opening round of the season. Every heat, every LCQ in the feature, they ended up bottling up into the first corner. Expectations for tonight, knowing that's essentially the first corner of the track, yes, but those drivers will quickly be in that same section in about 45 seconds or so after that initial run-through.
Well, I mean, that's a given. Forest County Potawatomi turn number 1 is infamous for high speed, close contact, and a lot of crashes. But I think once they get into that bull run, you're going to have to keep an eye on them. I think that last turn is going to get interesting, and the gravel pit is we're going to see a lot of passes. That's where the moves are usually made.
Seen a lot of aggressive moves back then. Keep in mind, the restart was a big part of that move for the feature race win the last time the track was on the schedule for starting off the season with the full layout. So that's something to think about again. Separation top of the board to the bottom of the board, nearly 2 seconds for reference tonight, and a lot of talent mixed on through the field. Lots of rear-wheel drivers, lots of drivers who are new to the platform, lots of drivers who are veterans to the sim. Your pick for the feature tonight. I'm curious on that one. I know it's early, but I'm curious to see if that prediction rings true.
Wow. Yeah, you throw me on the spot because, you know,
Yes.
I've known a lot of these kids and drivers personally. I think any one of them, if they get out front, they can run a clean race. But I'm excited to see what Sheldon and you know, the Creed and Chermani can do together. Also curious, Connor Berry, he's been on a roll. You know, just came off that, you know, World Cup championship. So I think he's got a little momentum. But I think Keaton Swain, after last week's performance, I think he might be the one to watch.
A lot to talk about as we take a look at your heat race number 1 grid for tonight. Again, top 3 advance. Felix Roy starts on the pole for this one after setting the fastest time in qualifying of 43.784. Crystal King starts second with Tom Grady in third, followed by Noah Sanders and Trenton Riley in 5th position. Then it's Brian Clement in 6th, then it's Ryan Lindner in the 7th spot. Hunter Carpenter has shown flash of speed in 8th, but Franklin Monac, who will start from 9th position. Roy Folsom starts 10th, while Bill Lester looks for luck from 11th. The rest of the field, Dennis Crosby, Nicholas Dachelet, who did not set a time in qualifying, the other being Gary Sexton. Look at your weather conditions now, presented by Martin Sports. 73 degrees Fahrenheit is the air temp, clear blue skies on iRacing Day, May 15th, 2022. But the track temp is very cold, 60 degrees Fahrenheit, midst of the dirt. In sim time, just 9:01 a.m. What a way to start off the morning in iRacing land.
You want to talk about a beautiful day in Crandon? That just described it all. Spring Crandon, always the best for, you know, real life racing. Great to see they're simulating it.
All the drivers are on the grid. All the engines are revving. We're all set to go. Green flag is out. We're underway for round 4 heat racing from Crandon. Strong land rush is set for Dennis Crosby. Everybody else clean off to the rush. 5 wide into the opening corner. Who will crash to start off this one? How about half the field? 2 drivers off the circuit. One of them jumps back on in the 17. 2 more crash. 3 more crash over the edge of the other half of the track.
Well, I think that got a little crazy as I expected coming out of turn number 1. Couple of breakaways there. The 91 Case Machine back on the side, definitely out front, running with that one. Felix Roy, I'll tell you, he's been showing a lot of speed. I might have to second guess myself on the pick because I forgot how well he drove last week.
Roy has held on to the lead after a crazy land rush. Grady, Lindner, inside the transfer spots. Crystal King got shuffled back to 4th. And I'm curious how the 535 runs tonight. Picked up a lot of speed based in qualifying compared to the previous rounds. And while we may have potential damage that may factor in for some, such as the 17, who again has lost the left front fender. What are the main thought process to think about when it comes to Grady? He's gotten a lot of praise from Christopher Plumley, who has not been able to make the race tonight, Dave. He says he's been putting in the work, and he's getting fast.
Well, I'll tell you, Grady's looking great out there for sure right now. You can't take that away from him. It's all about seat time. No matter what you do, whether it's real life, the simulator, you got to get seat time. Speaking of Crystal King and seat time, boy, that young lady, she put a lot in. She, you know, former champion, you know, from previous in the regional series. And just to see her make the leaps and bounds, see the way she's running right now, back in 4th place. Still hasn't got to that qualifying position, but I think she has it in her.
See if this ends up heating on up. Keep in mind, Brian Clement, you may have noticed in the pylon, has just had to tow because he got flipped upside down. Side-by-side battle with Dennis Crosby. Premier Racing Setups machine is now in the pit lane. Race control did manually allow Dachelet and Monac onto the track with how tight this facility is. Keep in mind, the battle for 3rd is not over. Crystal King wants 3rd.
Give a little bump there to Linder. Staying right on his bumper. That's smart. You know, he's not really making contact, not trying to spin him out or anything, but setting up for that position, trying to get to the inside. Coming off that Red Bull jump here into the barn turn. Underneath the Ponzi sign. Standing right on him through Skybox corner. Uh-oh. We got some net coding going on.
Or hold on to that connection grouping as trying to hold on still in the midst of this head of the grouping. Been very solid so far from that machine, who has decided to run the paint colors of the Detroit Red Wings tonight. Linder in turn gets shoved out of the way by the factory SimSport drivers side by side halfway to the heat.
Well, he keeps on leaving that door there, and I think Crystal, wide open. Crystal's seeing that daylight there, trying to stay that inside. He's staying on the side. Oh, a little contact, almost get out of shape. Able to recover nicely. It looks like she's going to get a good run up the inside on this one.
Slide to the inside. Can King fully get on side by side? No. Linder actually pulls up to single file. Two continue to scrap as here comes the cross. King goes for the move. King parts it up. King with the pass, this time through the gravel pit.
Absolutely beautiful move there, filling up the line there, but Linder not giving up. Crystal hugging that wall, not trying to get any daylight in between it. As you can see, Linder is right there trying to capitalize on it.
Count Crandon out though either. It's now a 3-car battle for the final transfer spot from the heat. Under 2 laps to go. Make the way towards onto North American corner. Once again, King currently in the bubble. Grady and Roy have pulled away by more than 3 seconds. They are safe, coming up to a lap and a half to go.
Grady talked about Trent Briley. We're on board with him right now. One of the real-life drivers. Watched him drive up through the trophy carts. He raced out there in the Super Lights, which was a Mazda-powered engine. Very cool to listen to back in the day. Well, very talented young driver. Great to see him out here and starting to challenge up there to get up into a qualifying position.
White flag is out, final lap of Heat 1. As King trying to limit the mistakes right now. Linder went away from Briley. All of this as well. Felix Roy is doing Felix Roy things. Same thing we seen from him last round. Roy is keeping the pace up.
Well, I'll tell you what, his General Tires are hooking up through those turns. And I'm watching his lines coming out. That is a beautiful setup. Comes up right up the middle of the track. Hits that apex, does the jump over, set up, and there's a checkered flag for him.
Felix Roy starts off the night picture perfect. The Jim Beaver Esports machine wins Heat 1. Grady and King rounds out the top 3. King holding on by a few tenths of a second, or was, till Ryan Linder and Trenton Briley met each other, it appears. Also out of the show in turn for now, having to go to the LCQs, the 213-17 are joined by Dennis Crosby, Bill Lester 11th to 7th, Rory Folsom in 8th, Dachelet after getting punted off the track at one point in 9th, from the pit lane at one point as well, Carpenter, Monac, round out the drivers who took the checkered. Brian Clement 5 laps down DNF. Noah Sanders did have technical issues, just now returned to the facility. And it's time to look at Heat Race 2's grid. Keaton Swain keeping up the momentum with a start front row for Heat 2. Dropkin starts in second with Cody Retzlaff in third. Darren Hardesty, Brock Smith round out the top 5. Shane Paul looking for some luck after he got spun around a few times last time in 6th. Ender starts in 7th. Michael Overstreet, that's a name we haven't seen in a while, starts in 8th. Kyle Cooper in 9th. Sawyer Tinker starts in 10th with Christopher McTorkle starting from row 2. Joining them will be Ramsey and Sexton on the grid. Let's look top to bottom. 13 drivers, Heat 2. Sexton may not be able to attend tonight. In fact, he is not at the track currently due to family commitments. But 12 others are ready to go. Countdowns to 0. The drivers are ready. 6 more laps are up on the board. Let's go land rushing. The green flag is out. We're back to racing.
Well, here they go, heading into the Forest County Potawatomi turn number 1, or Carnage turn 1. Here we go. All three grouping together.
1, 2, 3 cars in trouble. Smith got the worst of it. Paul got spun around a full 180. One more cut the course, and Michael Overstreet. Everybody else is safe, but it's Dropkin and Swain side by side for the lead.
And you can see right there, Dropkin looking on the inside, Swain trying to take that fast line upside, but here comes Dropkin. He's going to try to establish for the inside. Here we go. Let's see if Swain's going to go for an outside-inside, but he gets filled the line. Drapkin kept him honest.
Into the race lead now, as 5 laps now up on the board this time around. This is technically still lap 1 for the drivers on the interval. Hardesty is now in the bubble, meanwhile, keep in mind. So while Kyle Cooper's trying to hold off a Hornet's Nest for 4th on back, keep in mind Cooper started in 9th, has already picked up 5 spots as a result of the majority of the drivers in front of him going off the course or spinning.
Well, that's a tough position to be for Hardesty. He knows he's on the bubble, like you mentioned there. So now he's trying to chase down the 2 in front of him. But like you said, holding off everybody is going to be in your head. So you got to get it out of here. He's a former champion in the Pro Buggy, with multiple championships. So I know he knows how to hold the pressure there, but let's see how he's going to hold out here in this heat race number 2.
Now on lap 2, after their cross over the McCoy finish line that time around, as we look at Hardesty. Once again, Hardesty keeping things very competitive and cautious, it seems, right now. Not trying to be over-aggressive. Compare that to behind him, and Minder just got walled into the fence by Tinker.
Well, we already knew it was going to be a physical race here. Very short, very fast, and only 3 drivers coming out of the heat race, so it's going to get very interesting.
Here is Cody Retzlaff, a brand new look for him tonight, going with the more grayish-blue look. Watching the pushing and shoving in front and joining the pushing and shoving.
Liking the new look.
Apologize for the language on part of that truck, by the way. That's all I'll say on that, as the 525 battles with the 021 of Tinker. Meanwhile, Swain is still trying to battle with Drapkin. Drapkin is not backing down. This would be one of his best runs in a heat this season so far.
Well, Drapkin, you're waiting to get out front there. You can see how serious he is. We look at him behind the wheel there. He's got just that concentrated look on him.
It's the most concentrated I think we've seen him all season so far, if I dare say. By the way, they've ditched Cooper and company by more than 2 to 3 seconds. Hardesty is also in the party as well after turning the fastest lap of his race so far, 43.963.
Yeah, Swain keeps on working that inside line and watching him coming around here, and he's trying to find that way, but I think Drapkin, he is in the fastest line. We call that the preferred line coming around. You're going to hit your high marks, you're going to hit the low of the apex, but you don't want to leave any daylight. Somebody like Keaton's going to see a little daylight, he'll make a move. But Swain, that's a perfect position. Swain might want to mix it up next time, trying to get on the outside, like he's trying to move to the inside now. It's like an outside-inside move.
There's the outside, there's the inside.
Right.
Swaying to the right side. Will this work, though? Drapkin has the preferred line. No. Nearly gets the back end, though. Swain now trying the up and under again. This time coming off the corner. This time Swain with the pull. This time side by side. Back for the opening corners. Swain with the slide. For the lead, he parks the bus and takes it away.
Oh, man, he filled that hole just nicely. Buvak took his line right out of him. But Drapkin trying to use that inside line, pretty much mirroring what Swain was doing for him. Swain a little wide. Oh! It looks like Drapkin goes back into the lead.
You talk about parking the bus. That was stopping for a traffic light into the corner this time for the gravel pit. White flag this time around. Who will get second overall in the starting grid? Coming into the feature. Drapkin wanting to hold off Swain. Hardesty also with a chance to win it.
Well, it definitely was no short bus for sure. He brought the long bus because he pushed him back high and wide.
Here's a look from Hardesty. In the popcorn seat if things heat up very quickly here. Half a track to go. Now make their way past Skybox straight to the gravel pit one more time. Will Swain go for the send? He's trying the cut. Drapkin going to the right. Swain to the left. Side by side, heading to the Calamity Corner for the final time for the heat. Drapkin parks it up high. Swain goes for the cross. Hardesty with a slam. Drapkin wins it. Swain fences Hardesty for second. Well, it almost worked for Swain. The 99 was there, though.
Yeah, old Hardesty filled that hole a little bit too quick. He wasn't expecting that one.
Mind you, they were having a wrestling match behind them themselves, with Minder taking home 4th, Tinker, Overstreet, Retzlaff. I have to go to the LCQs with McCorkle. See amongst them. You also had, keep in mind, a bad run to the final lap for Kyle Cooper, Shane Paul 4 laps down, and there was a DNS in Gary Sexton. Heat 3 features some big names that you should know across the motorsports world. Tyson Miller and Mason Prater 1-2, but Sheldon Creed makes his way to dirt action from third. The drivers are continuing to already get themselves quickly to the heat. They're actually underway. Let's quick look at the grid, and guess who had the best launch? It is a driver who is getting into sim racing a lot of late. It is Sheldon Creed. Just as we say that, he's immediately put into the meat of the sandwich for the Hornet's Nest to the corner.
Yeah, it looks like Mason Prater's going to jump out front.
Mason Prater indeed up in front. Bit of contact behind the 11 machine was sent sideways. Black flags for Sabre and Posey from how they took the start. Two different trucks, Dave, jumped the start.
Yeah, they're getting a little antsy. I know some of the drivers wanted to start the heats early. I can see why. They wanted to get into the way. And you can see right now we're on board in that Chevrolet there, Sheldon Creed.
Oh, and he's moving Borison. Sheldon Creed with a bump. Another bump. Another bump. And a feed from the back end from Lon Franks on to boot. Creed, though, has moved his way into the top 3 in the opening lap or so of this one. And keep in mind, Dave, he runs a lot of short track races I've seen on the service in the past. Add short course racing to the action once more, but that was a real-world experience.
Oh, well, he's got a few championships under his belt, you know, whether it's been in short course or moving to the ARCA series. So this kid has it all. He is definitely a wheelman for sure.
Reason he's been a competitor for championships in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, driving for RCR this year in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and with Austin Hill for that grouping. And meanwhile, Borison gets shoved out of the way by Tyson Miller. The 90 machine is now up to 4th. The Terminator, as his nickname is on the truck. Well, that's a way. That is actually fitting tonight.
Oh, definitely. You gotta love it when a name or a nickname sticks with you.
Also a Twitch streamer, it appears, as you see with the logos. And here's the problem with that. See if he's being willing to terminate Sheldon Creed's chances to mof on with 4 to go. All this is while Borison is holding off Lon Franks. Borison, remember, started the season so well at Crandon for the full course and has been struggling to get momentum back since essentially getting launched into a corner.
Well, I'll tell you one thing with Sheldon's experience, where you start messing with him, he'll mess with your head right back. He can make that thing dance and make your car do things you didn't think were possible when he's like moving you around.
Battling on for third. 7-0 and Prater are in the positions in front for reference sake. The 07 and the 1 have pulled away by more than 2 seconds. Reed not backing off his line. Miller trying to go for the similar line we've seen from Swain. Not able to pull it off this time.
But one thing for sure, watching the lines, you can see Sheldon filling that outside, then brings it down tight, not allowing the Terminator to find any daylight there. So Sheldon's going to move out wide, but you're going to see he's in the fast line. He kept it hooked up, stayed out of that slippery blue groove there.
So created one of the Chevy accessories machines, battling along with one of the factory sim sport drivers. 2 laps to go this time by. Of note, Matt Sabre has served the black flag. A big punt on Creed. Creed holds on to it. Creed actually gains time from it.
He's been bounced around so many times, he knows how to deal. He has one of the best car controller I've ever seen as far as the control he has. He can make this thing's drive on 2 wheels, spin around, and go right back in the same direction and not lose position.
Back once again to Borison. Borison has just not had the chance to fully claw on forward to join this fight. Has stayed within decent range, give him credit. It's not been in the fight per se for third since the start of the race.
I think Borison's just sitting waiting for these two to take each other out is what he's thinking. Ooh, a little too much speed carrying around there. Borison might go up. Thought he was going to catch up on him.
Thought about something there in the Norway-based driver. Cameraman Continues the battle about, coming towards the final times around. White flag is waving for this respective heat. Prater and Simino are comfortably in the top two. But Sheldon Creed could get interesting. The leaders are currently being made aware of the number 11 in their positioning. Matt Sabre is right in front of the race leaders. The leaders will be taking caution. All of this as well. Mason Prater is ready to celebrate a checker. The lap truck actually stops on the side of the road, all to allow Mason Prater, the Prater Racing Machine, to take the checker flag. Give Mason Prater Heat 3's victory. Thibodeau holds on to second. Sheldon Creed, welcome to feature racing in the iRacing Short Course National Series. He moves on from third.
Great to see.
First start of the season to boot. The first driver out will be Tyson Miller, by the way. Orison is also into the LCQ. Franks, Irvin, Metzinger, Catabeso quietly 11th and 9th. Blank the last on the lead lap. Everyone else 2 laps down as a result of jumping the start in Heat 3's launch to the Land Rush. Heat 4 is where you can find your points leader entering tonight. Part of the Series 2, it's Connor Berry with Ethan Ebert alongside. Then, that 73 machine we've talked so much about tonight will start from third with James Burke in fourth position. Then in fifth spot tonight, it's Zach Knowles with Chase Carr in sixth, Jake Hill in seventh, Cameron McGeshik starts in eighth, Trey Hernquist in ninth, and a Positive Energy truck will be starting from 10th. We are trying to figure out the exact driver. The rest of the field on screen, they are launching, and off and away we go. We're underway for the final heat of the night.
Well, let's see what's going to happen here as they come through heat number 4. Will they stay out of trouble through the turn number 1?
Good launch indeed.
Sure.
Wow. Cleanest launch of the entire time at Crandon so far.
I think I'm shocked, Justin.
Last time I thought about that, though, we had half the field wreck in an event earlier today. That was on a road course. Meanwhile, bit of bumping and banging for third, right on behind Ebert. Ebert deciding to put the Geico Gecko on his head for good luck tonight, and so far it's worked well to keep him away from the traffic, help him with saving 10% on car insurance, I believe.
Absolutely there. So, hey, he's hoping it's going to take 10 seconds off his time.
Bumping and banging, meanwhile, on the 63. Just shuffling amongst that driver and switching about. The 73 is up to third. The 63 is turned around.
So, I'll tell you what, Sheldon Creed's cousin, Braden Chiramani, sitting in the exact same position as Sheldon there. I know they did a little racing together at some sprint cars there. I know he came out, beat Sheldon a few times, came out with a big win on that one. So great to see Braden Chiramani, and great to see him join the series. See the A.M. Ortega on the side there. Probably a good old shout out to their grandpa there, Maurice Ortega, great guy, great supporter of these young men.
And having a very solid run so far. Meanwhile, here's Connor Berry. We see a flash of everyone's favorite fan, including Connor's favorite fan, as well as the trophies, as well as the wheel tonight. So a mix of everything for round 4. Berry is up by about a second.
Well, it looks like you're talking about Positive Beverage. I believe that's Georgia Gyro's G3, as we like to call him.
Yes, that is exactly who it is. I'm surprised they allowed the nickname for the driver, in fact, because from what I can tell in history, had recently raced in SKUSA Super Nationals in Las Vegas. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Well, he is George the Third, so
correct.
G3.
Oh, that's where the
Same
reference
thing.
is.
Yes.
And if he is currently one of the first men out, currently, by the way, with a lot of karting experience, too. Here is Zach Knowles, the first man out, I should say, now with 099. For reference, the 63s and 11. For Zach Knowles, very calm, and if I've seen correctly, a random small little sticker on his wall.
Well, I can see that Chase Carr right behind him, chasing him down there, the Car 1 machine. Very talented UTV racer in real life there. Running at 5th place behind Knowles, trying to hound him down. Still, 2 positions out there. Only top 3 will qualify. Go to the dance tonight. Everybody else, I'll tell you what, man, that LCQ is going to be stacked with talent. That first turn is going to be nuts.
Meanwhile, the chicken-covered car and James Burke is on the charge. Burke amongst those who races a fair bit. Amongst the Legion cars. And speaking of car, it's a truck. And that truck nearly got turned regardless, bouncing off the door of McGeshik. Meanwhile, Chase Carr is keeping Zach Knowles company now, with 2 to go.
And you can see him there, that Factory Polaris Razor, your sponsored driver. Carrying on here into the short course. See Car 1, their fabrication company. Build a lot of those cars for a lot of these young drivers in real life. In fact, Connor Berry's R1, I believe, was built by them.
Indeed, and so far, Connor Berry has been having a stellar heat again. Remember, Connor Berry has been the king of the long run, it seems, this entire season. White flag in this heat. Berry is keeping it up now because, well, this is the most worn in the track's been so far, and it's definitely leading to Connor Berry's speed. 43.3s much of this run.
Well, definitely a quick runner there. You can see he is not getting challenged by anyone. Underneath the Ponzi sign by the skybox run. Here we go into the gravel pit. And there is Ebert back there. Ethan Ebert.
Gecko has been keeping that machine very clean, the Honda Racing machine, but all of this as well, Connor Berry in the Jim Beaver Esports machine. Having a very clean, very calm, very consistent run. He wins Heat 4. Ebert in second, while the 73 rounds out the top 3. So both Selden Creed camp-based drivers are in the show. Chase Carr 4th, Knowles, Hill, Hernquist, McGeshik, Burke, and Keeble rounding up the top 10. G3 has just hit the scoring pylon for 11th, while Alec Hoffman will be the last driver to cross the stripe, is doing so currently. Let's look at who ends up making it from the heats, but there are several LCQs left to go tonight, and with the big field, all 3 will be needed. All 3 will have 4 laps, top 2 advancing. Ryan Lindner got shuffled out of a transfer spot late. He'll battle with Chase Carr, 1st and 2nd. Borison and Overstreet, 3rd and 4th. Lester and Hernquist, 5th and 6th. Metzinger and Smith are 7th and 8th, right on behind them. They're Gridslotties. Carpenter and Keeble, 9th and 10th. Posey and Paul round out the 12th. Just waiting for one last driver before we get running. It should be an intriguing LCQ sequence. By the way, the track temp, that is up 16 degrees since the start of the first heat.
Wow, that's quite a jump in temperature.
But the instant time has also jumped to noon as well, which may be a factor. Meanwhile, one driver has jumped the start. Chase Carr, black flag, has to be served in the pit lane. We're underway, and Carr is already on the back foot. Meanwhile, one driver is nearly getting sent into the edge of the track in Bill Lester. Everybody else going 3 wide with no major contact quite yet.
Well, I've never seen a left turn go in there into a right-hander, but he seemed to do it, didn't stay out of trouble. And I'm really surprised there. You can see the great shot there, the Smith Graphics on the side of that machine there. Brock Smith.
Brock Smith getting up there. Smith is currently into the bubble spot for now. One driver just nearly got turned. One, in fact, is upside down, Shane Paul. Carr is serving the black flag. Hernquist missed the start. You know who's there? Carpenter is there. Keeble is there. Metzinger is there. Borison is having a wrestling match with Overstreet. Several drivers with a chance with under 4 to go, coming to 3 officially on the board.
So it's Paul, Linder, and Smith, the top 3 I'm showing.
Keep in mind, Carr is serving the black All is taking the tow. Hernquist never started. That's to clarify things. On some of the scoring, you may see drivers who tow go to the top of the board in that sequence. But these drivers are your top runners now. You see that swap down for the board? See Smith trying to find a way to get a cushion. And that cushion just got slammed shut and moved out of the way by Hunter Carpenter. And he turns him instead. Brock Smith is in the wall. Brock Smith is upside down to the pack.
And he's back down on the rubber side down, trying to get up way high in that turn. Now hangs it on the K-rail. Well, that's pretty much going to end his night for sure. You got to wonder if any calls on that one. It looked a little hinky.
That's an understatement. But yes, here's the thing. Then first one out, Jeffrey Keeble would be one of the first times he's made a feature this season.
Well, Linder, Carpenter, Keeble, top three.
About making sure you get there. That's the thing with 2 laps to go. A lot can still happen. Comes this action. Keep in mind, Keeble talked about him during the Bark River round. Very well known with that facility. No call made yet for that second place driver. All this is while Linder, here's a look at his viewpoint. Very calm, very smooth on the wheel movement. Right now has a cushion of about 1 second coming to the white.
I'm taking it by your reference about the Red Wings there. He's got to be a Michigan resident. Most likely a big fan of the Detroit Red Wings, I say, right?
Well, he is a part of the Michigan Club on iRacing. Now he's joined the club that's taken the white flag this time around. Final lap for this first LCQ. The different Detroit Red Wings logos there. As Carpenter now you see on board, brought to you by Martin Sports. One of the elite esports machines. Just needed to make sure things stay clean for the final time around. 136 is still in third. Final few corners, Ryan Lindner looking to close it on out, looking to join the field with an LCQ victory. In close in the opening heats of the night. Instead, he has to win the LCQ. Ryan Lindner moves on. He'll be joined for now by Hunter Carpenter. Keeble, the first one out.
Definitely bummed for the Smith graphics machine there. Brock Smith, sitting in that position. Would have been his first one getting there into the main event this way.
So taking a look at the rest of the runners. Of note, one driver did crash on the top of the wall. Lindner, Carpenter, Keeble, top 3. Top 2 do advance. Overstreet, Borison, Metzinger, Posey, Lester, Carr, Smith are done for the night, as well as the drivers seen here are Horquist and Paul. Quickly, the second LCQ has been told to rush to the track because almost everyone's on it. Minder, Riley amongst the top runners in this respective run. Then you have Knowles, Franks, Retzlaff, Folsom, McGeshik, the rest of the field on screen. 13 are in LCQ2 this time. One last driver before things get underway here. And I'm curious how Retzlaff rebounds after the rough heat for him last time. 5:25. To rebound in the LCQ. Lights are out. Green flag is out. Let's go land rushing again. The green is out. And one driver gets turned. Ramsey's to the infield. Another one to the wall. 2 don't even make it out of the land rush as Briley gets shuffled for the lead. One more is upside down and getting cartwheeled off the circuit. Lon Franks has been punted nearly to the highway.
Absolutely crazy. In fact, 2 drivers we saw even before the turn happened were into it there. Crazy, but man, I'll tell you, Minder was expecting him to get out front in this one for sure, and sure enough, he did not disappoint. Great run, but boy, is he going to have his work cut out for him.
Trouble behind top 2, yes. Monac nearly got flipped upside down, got her upright. Retzlaff was making contact. The top 2 are still squabbling, though. That could help. 3rd and 4th stay within range. Riley wants the lead. He started 11th in this LCQ.
Well, Bender pretty much started out like Briley did, running in the trophy carts early on there. I'll tell you, both talented drivers. Great to see Trent battling there, but Jaden's really coming to his own. He's had some flashes of greatness in iRacing for sure.
Anders trying to recover after technical issues, and that's the tough thing when it comes to sim racing. There's the equivalent of mechanical. And when you have tech issues, you may have to make moves like this to rebound and get yourself in a transfer. Noah Sanders bullies his way to second.
Man, we got to fight for four positions here. These guys are going for it. The top four are out for blood.
Remember, Noah Sanders didn't even, pardon me, Dave, I was going to say Noah Sanders didn't even make his heat race because of technical issues. Hence why he's so aggressive here.
Okay. He's looking for a little redemption there. He's going, hey, I got only one chance to make it happen. Now look at him. Now he's on Mender. Unfortunately, Briley got shuffled. Beautiful move, though, by Sanders.
Starting to build up a buffer over Briley and Retzlaff, two drivers who have shown feature pace speed this season. 2 laps to go, though. Anything can happen in the LCQ. Here's the look in a Hornet's Nest. Meanwhile, this is Rory Folsom. Haven't talked too much about the 66 this season.
Great to see how, he's out there, he's doing it. Running a little deep, he's out of the qualifying position, but there's so much talent there. You get a good start, you're out front. You get a little shuffle back, it's hard to fight your way back in this short course.
Keep in mind, there will be a track work session on Appel before we take start of the next LCQ, it appears, if not during the warm-up. But we're taking the white either way this time. Minder looking to win this LCQ after what has been a rough and tough run for the 415 this year.
Yeah, definitely a rumbling, stumbling move going through there, that's for sure.
Keeping it clean so far, Minder. Sanders building up that big bump for now. The 63 has had to put his truck on the tow for now, for reference as well.
Sanders trying to get a little speed in a run up there and may have carried a little too much.
Oh, look at this! Sanders is upside down! Briley flips him upside down! Briley slams Sanders out of the show! How will Retzlaff respond? Briley nearly gets turned. Minder takes the checkered. Briley to second, but he has been black flagged. Give that spot to Retzlaff.
Yeah, one of the things you can't do is you can't turn another driver into a berm, and unfortunately carried a little too much speed, didn't get on the binders in time, and therefore the incident. It's a shame.
So again, a black flag has been issued. There's the change. Retzlaff officially second, officially first Minder. Monak, Beso, Folsom. Sanders does still get sixth. Franks, Ramsey, McGeshik, the top 9. G3 does not make the show, 1 lap down. Riley, 1 lap down at 11th with the black flag. DNFs for Knowles and Sabre. One more heat left to go on the board. Dyson Miller wants those racing. They're already getting ready to race. Already the drivers, 12 have made the grid. Who will make the final 2 in the feature grid? We're underway, and we're already jumping over to each other. One driver leaped over another. All of this is while the Hornet's Nest is being led by one Tyson Miller for the first jumps.
Miller had a great clean run out there, and carnage ensues. Oh my goodness.
Jake Hill upside down. Brian Clement without a front clip and a blown motor and a tow. 2 major DNFs early, and it's not been Clement's night.
He has been beat up. He's been through the spin cycle and spit out hard.
Take a listen to this.
Oh, my mind, I can hear it's just fight.
Hard contact for Clement indeed, and keep in mind, Hill had even more flips than what we just seen there. By the way, quietly throughout all this, you have Dennis Crosby, who has jumped up to 3rd on the racetrack. Tinker's in 2nd. And then currently, we'll see how scoring plays out. I believe it's still Don Chalet amongst those also in this spot.
Yeah, as they get shuffled around here, we're looking there. You see Crosby, you see Hill got shuffled back. You saw the damage on his car there for sure. That is definitely going to affect the way that thing runs for sure. But, you know, that's the way life goes. You know, Josh Lake sitting in a great spot there, sitting right behind Miller. McCorkle trying to make a run up behind him. But I think Josh Lake just has a sight on Miller. He wants to take a heat win. He wants that confidence builder.
Remember, Josh Lake was one of the two drivers who did not set a qualifying time.
Yep.
Josh Lake only made it one corner in his opening heat of the night. So in other words, Josh Lake looking to be truck number 24, track at 18 for tonight. Third on back has already lost 2 to 3 seconds, keep in mind. Kyle Cooper keeping within range and Corkle. You also have Urban and Company fighting as well. Here's some of that battling with Cooper.
And you see Hoffman making a move by Irvin now. Burt now moves up in position as 6. Irvin gets shuffled back. One more spot there. Pretty clean racing so far once they got all the craziness out of that first turn.
Corkle did hit the wall. That's why they closed up there. Josh Lake, meanwhile, was closing up to try and steal an LCQ victory. Tyson Miller looking to prove that 90 could have made the feature from the heat. Coming up to the white flag already, the Terminator is trying to make sure not to terminate this spot.
Well, he definitely wants to terminate not going home.
Better use the pun than that. Either way, white flag is out.
Well, Miller, yeah, as I said, Miller's got to make a major mistake right now to lose this one. Josh Lake sitting back there. He knows he's in that qualifying spot. Get back, settle in, wait for the main event. I'll tell you what, everybody's going to be pretty much equal coming into this with the land rush. I don't think there really is a greater position on that lineup.
Seen good launches from the second row. We've seen good launches in the first row tonight.
Yep.
Some drivers like Cooper, nights are done. For others like Tyson Miller, their nights live on. For 18 more feature laps. Miller takes the checkered and wins the LCQ. Josh Lake moves on. They get the final 2 spots in the show. Clean running for the 90 and the 23. Kyle Cooper finished outside the transfer spots despite gaining 7 spots. But Corkle finished in 4th, did hit the wall at one point. Irvin and Tinker, 5th and 6th. Burke and Crosby, Hoffman and Hill, top 10. A good recovery from Hill from flipping around 7 times in a corner. Drivers out. Trey Blank got flipped upside down in the final lap. Brian Clement, DNF, and Gary Sexton, DNS. Let's look top to bottom at the drivers who were in the final LCQ. More coverage coming up right after this. You're watching Podium Esports for coverage of the iRacing Short Course National Series, short version of Crandon International.
Hi everybody, it's Derek Prentice-Siglio for Super Clean. And whether you work around the shop, the garage, or the home, spills are going to happen. And now, Super Clean introduces their new Super Clean floor absorbent into their new product line to make cleaning up spills faster and easier. This all-natural product comes in an easy-to-pour 3-pound shaker jug. Just shake out the amount you need over your spill, give it a few minutes to absorb, and then clean up in an instant. Unlike traditional clay products, this product is virtually dust-free and absorbs 4 times faster. Now, we break out our Super Clean cleaner and degreaser for a 1-2 punch to clean up the stain completely. You can pick up your own 3-pound shaker jug of all-natural Super Clean at AutoZone, and you can also check us out at superclean.com. Super Clean, super easy, super fast, super clean.
Welcome back to Crandon, state of Wisconsin, for coverage of iRacing Short Course National Series competition, sponsored by CR Performance Products, AIM Sports Data, Super Clean, Dirt Sports World, Signature Propellers, Positive Beverage, and Smith Graphics. Justin Prince, Dave Arnold with you, with Ryan Bauer in the producer's seat for tonight's action. Cameras provided by the great Dougie Beard. Less than 3 minutes until drivers hit the track for feature racing once more. and so far it's been intriguing. A lot of hard battling for transfer spots, but a lot of big names we've seen make features consistently so far already sent home, while others who are new to the series this season or for this season in general. Sheldon Creed amongst those noteworthy who have made the show to take one of those spots from one of the top runners out of the picture.
Yeah, definitely. It was impressive to watch him run out there. What about his teammate and cousin there, Braden Chiramani? Great drive from him. Pretty much put into the same position Sheldon is. You got to know they probably got a strategy going on. Those two guys, young drivers, are very smart, but so many fast drivers out there. I mean, look at Connor Berry, just pretty much ran away with that one out there. But Keaton Swain, he's looking for redemption. We talked about what happened to him last week. I think he's going to be giving them a run for the money, but Sheldon Creed, he could be the fly in the ointment tonight.
Remember, Keaton Swain amongst those starting in the front row. Sixth position, Keaton Swain for the Land Rush. Connor Berry first, for reference. 90 seconds until things get rumbling. We talked about there's no perfect place to start for the Land Rush for the feature. How do you try and plan things out to be sure you're in good track position for the feature, knowing there's a competition caution end of lap 8, and knowing essentially the final run would be about 8-9 laps to the max?
Well, I mean, the key, big thing is getting out front, and it's about the reaction time. I mean, you got to time that start. It's almost like a drag racer. When that tree starts dropping, the green light goes, you got to be on it. I've already seen a couple drivers that tried to anticipate it, jumped it, doesn't go too well. You get a black flag, you got to serve it, you're going to be out of the fight. Short track, tight, fast, get out front. That's the key. And stay out of trouble.
That's going to be the key thing. How crazy it starts have been, absolutely. We've seen drivers sent to Calamity Corner at the wrong time, unfortunately, for that to count. And that is a penalty, by the way, if you try and cut the course by a good 30 seconds. But in that regard, though, in terms of contenders, 30 seconds to the grid, who are you watching to win tonight? Because your prediction was to keep an eye on Sheldon Creed and company. Are you sticking with that? Who else you're watching in turn then?
I mean, Keaton Swain, like I said, he's looking for redemption. He showed a lot of speed. He was right there, Connor Berry, and him pretty much close on time. So I think it's going to be a four-way battle between Swain, Berry, I'm going to say Creed and Chiramani. And I think Japkin's going to get in there somewhere.
Especially with the
throwing
speed.
A few elbows.
He showed great speed in his heat, absolutely, Dave.
Yep.
So, some of the drivers have just completed their warm-ups. Others actually had a 4-truck meeting in the pit lane. Rader, Drapkin, Berry, and Carpenter all huddling in their trucks in a corner. No, I'm serious. Either way, their drive, we'll see if that worked out, that discussion. As Berry, Prater, Drapkin, and Roy will start in the first 4 spots. The top 6 rounded out by Tom Grady, Keaton Swain, all of them on the front row for the Land Rush. 7-0 starts in 7th with Ethan Eburn in 8th. Then, rounding out that front grouping, King and Hardesty. The first driver in row 2 would be Sheldon Creed with the number 73. Braden will start from 12th. Linder in 13th, Mender in 14th, Miller and Carpenter 15th and 16th, Retzlaff and Dachelet 17th and 18th. 2 rows of trucks, 18 ready to rumble. About a minute to go. Last of the discussions being brought on from race control. Let's take a look at the weather conditions one more time as we approach 1 p.m. in Sim. It's evening out at 78 and 78 Fahrenheit respectively. Still partly cloudy skies in the state of Wisconsin.
Well, this is going to be an interesting one for sure. 18 quick laps. It's all going to come to the start. Who's going to get up there and establish? You got to be in the top 5, and you got to be in it to win it.
Intriguing how this all plays out. 18 laps up on the board for tonight. We'll get the full time to breathe. Seconds. What goes through your mind for a Land Rush?
Please no one hit me. Please no one hit me and let me be out front. That's simple.
Based on the trends throughout the season so far, Crandon. Ebert.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, a lot of drivers say, it's great to be in that pole position, but somewhere in the middle, sometimes the sweet spot, and I've seen a lot of hole shots come out of the middle.
Here we go. The driver is all set. Everyone in their trucks is ready to go. Green flag waving. We're underway and someone didn't go. Prater didn't go off the jump. He's been driven around by everybody. Connor Berry takes the lead into the corner, 5 wide behind him as they start to crash. Ebert gets spun towards some tires. Doshele flips upside down. Several more crash. An oopsie for Crystal King blowing a motor. Everybody else has settled on out.
Yeah, it looks like King got on that hammer a little too quick there after getting spun around and popped that thing, saw the white smoke. But Berry, just like we talked about, has been so fast on it. There's Drapkin. And here comes Creed up into third.
Sheldon Creed.
In fifth. Ooh.
He's quickly putting a statement on for this season. Bit of a bump from behind from Felix Roy. A great save from Sheldon Creed. Keenan Swain nearly jumps on to the back end of the 74. Gives a tap as well. Now on board with the iRacing World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car World Championship Series driver. Roy has already been shuffled back several spots. King is the only driver who has had to tow after the first lap.
Well, Roy's got a good run there. He's in a good position here. There's a lot of laps there. But, of course, we are going to take that competition caution. We're going to re-rack that field, and it's going to be on that restart. How fast can you restart it? We can see right now Zach Drapkin sitting in second position. He is focused again, trying to be very smooth, very deliberate on the moves. But it's going to be tough. Connor, so quick out there. Can Drapkin hang with him?
Look for suspension. You see how hard some of the hits again are in those bumps and jumps today. Top two have pulled away about a second. Creed is leading the second grouping of trucks at the moment. Again, they're now in the second total lap up on the board. Here's the view with Connor Berry.
Great perspective. You can see what these drivers, can really see. It's like being in the car. You can see his window nets and either side there. He's got a little side vision there. He's got that triple monitor, or actually 4 monitors set up.
Especially since you need a monitor to keep up with communications, right?
Yep, exactly. Discord's up there.
Indeed. Keaton Swain, meanwhile, he's trying to go down to the bottom again. Can't make a move on Sheldon Creed, though. They've now lost 1.2 seconds. Top two grouping. Again, give credit to Sheldon Creed. We've talked a lot about his praise and how he's performed in these trucks in the real world. Came up through these ranks before going to the stock car racing route. What an impressive start for his campaign in his first start of the season. All of this before what's expected to be a very busy run with stock car racing at Daytona International Speedway in a few weeks.
Yeah, so great with him. I believe Richard Childress Racing, we talked about the RCR team there. But I'll tell you, Sheldon has a lot of laps on this track. He ran the Track's Historic Series for many years, which was the home before Champ Off-Road took over. It's so great to see, him back there. Probably feels like he's driving something very familiar to him.
Keep in mind, he still has a D license in this truck, but this class, showing the amount of time he's gotten with the trucks. But he's driving quicker than some of the highest I-rating drivers, who are some of the best real-world drivers, mind you, on the entire platform. That just shows the speed Sheldon Creed has in the field for these trucks as we come to the end of the platform.
His career takes up a lot of time up there, and not a lot of time testing on the track in real life. But it's great to see him, to spend some time in here. And I've seen it do some good in real life for some of these drivers. Transfers, not like the old days of PlayStation. These things are so realistic.
Come a long way, let's put it that way, from early days of sim racing, even the early days of racing games in general and simulations in general. Drapkin, very comfortable. Competition caution coming in a couple laps time, by the way. Kind of can't tell if he's calm or content or not too happy.
Or in the zone.
Very meh? Is that the right term?
Meh.
Sometimes you just get into the zone and that ends up being the face, right?
Yep. I'm just glad his tongue's in his mouth. It goes out the corner, and that just worries me when it does there. You know, he's getting a little,
Meanwhile, here's Tom Grady. See him. Also very calm, cool and collected. Not calm, cool and collected is what's happening in front of him. Keaton Swain and Felix Roy taking Sheldon Creed 3 wide, heading towards Calamity Corner, and Creed still holds it off.
Oh, look at this. Swain up the inside. Elbows came out.
Oh, and he hit the wall. Swain put himself in the wall. He gets him stuck on the wall. Keaton Swain. He's just thrown more points out the window.
We're going to see what happens here. Sheldon just fills that line. Swain has a good run up the inside. Oh, he clipped the K-rim.
And then it gets worse here.
And then he does a rail slide. Should have left the skateboard at home.
Was about to say, this is not a skateboard, unfortunately.
Yeah. Going for the grind, baby.
Keaton Swain is now going to lose at least a lap. Bristol King is still a lap down as well. Drapkin getting ready to take the competition caution from second. Connor Berry still leads, pushing and shoving for third behind him. Felix Roy, Sheldon Creed are side by side for third, heading off to the Polaris gravel pit. Roy with the slide, the cross from Creed.
Beautiful move by Roy, trying to establish to the inside, coming around. Oh, Sheldon Creed's going the long way around. No, he's going to try and duck to the inside, but Roy keeps his nose down inside. He is not going to leave daylight. He knows if he does, Creed's going to make a pass.
The competition caution is on the track. And here is the wrinkle that may be the saving grace for Swain and King. If there are lap down trucks, they will allow those competitors to get their lap back. Under pacing, everyone will stop, allow them to get their lap back. That's Swain and King in this reference this time. So they will get a lap back to get on the lead lap. But the problem is they will be 17th and 18th position respectively.
Well, they get the wave by, and they're going to get that. You know, being on the lead lap is everything, because anything can happen in racing. Never count them out, never give up, never surrender. And there it is, the wave run.
Yep, this is the first time this season, Dave, we've had this happen, by the way. Hearing that Mason Prater may have just been hit, by the way, during the caution period as drivers were coming to a stop. Looks like minimal damage on that truck, if anything, but he apparently did get hit around the rear of the machine as the rest of the trucks are now catching up.
Yeah, definitely a shocker for Prater, where he's sitting there, sitting third in points. I expected him to be battling a little bit higher in the field. But, you know, Mason usually makes his move in the second half of the race.
Well, remember, he did not get going on the launch. Had a bad start, in fact. Had to make up about 10 seconds minimum.
Yeah, it was kind of strange that he did not move. You got to wonder if there was kind of something wrong with his sim or something with his computer at the time.
The drivers are getting themselves acquainted with whatever before they get rolling. The field has been told to let things on roll. Barry, Drapkin, Roy, Creed, Grady, the top 5. Ebert rounds out the top 6. Your biggest mover, Cody Retzlaff, is up to 9th, plus 8. Most spots lost, Mason Prater, Keaton Swain, 12 spots apiece. And drivers were informed for today's action that the restart zone is coming out of turn 1. They've also been warned to not bump each other off the start. A majority of the field here will likely be starting in the middle of the corner. 18 trucks are still running. 8 laps to go when they come across the stripe once more. 9 laps to go officially. Well, 8 and 9/10. Here's the restart box. Green flag is out. Barry's off and away.
just heartbreaking seeing Keaton Swain so deep in the field there, but this is going to be interesting up front. Connor Berry definitely with a great jump, but beautiful, shot there you can see right now from Felix Roy. He's sitting back there and all the way back in 18th place, Keaton Swain. He's got a long train in front of him. He better start making some moves, man.
Well, there's the first obstacle you just seen flipping over. That was Hunter Carpenter. Up at the very front, though. Barry continues to lead. Barry's led every lap so far. He's still in second. It's been in second most of this run. Roy in third. It's pushing and shoving, though, for fifth, it's worth noting. Grady bumped and banged with Ebert. Ebert got fifth at the stripe, but fifth has went back to Grady.
Reed back there in fourth there. You can see Grady getting move there. Is that Zane Minder right in front of him in eighth position?
Yeah. And Minder has been stuck in the teens most of the times he's made the features this season, Dave. And in those, he's been one of the most hit drivers during those runs. This is the cleanest run the 415's had all season and the best run positioning at the halfway point.
And you can see him trying to battle up there on the back end of Braden Cheramani. And we're taking a drive there.
Continue to squabble about. Meanwhile, Felix Roy is trying to keep within arm's distance of the number 56. Strapkin has lost nearly 9/10 to Barry. Roy is still within about 6 to 7 tenths. The battle for second, a hard send to the corner this time.
A great shot there on board there as Creed tries to chase down Roy there for sure. You can see Grady and then Ethan Ebert back there in the 57. Braden Cheramani in the 73 right behind him, back on board with Sheldon Creed and the Chevy accessories machine, as he's got his sights set on that 91. He wants Felix Roy. He likes that Jim Beaver Esports, wants to chase it down.
Meanwhile, Geico Gecko has still brought decent luck to the 57 despite the pushing and shoving. Ebert is still in the top 10. For someone with a Geico on his head, he looks sad.
Well, he's running a little deeper. I'd be sad too. He wants to run up front. Ebert knows how to do it.
Up front, Creed still keeping within the range of the 91. 5 to go this time. Creed is not letting this go, keep in mind. Creed wants a podium.
He is working on Felix Roy there. Thought for a second Roy was going to step out there. Creed wasn't able to capitalize it. Knows that's the fast line.
This will be one of the biggest performances for Roy on the season. Keep in mind, he's been on the podium before. He's been in the points hunt. But how often can you say held off a rear-wheel driver that is one of the best in this field and someone in the NASCAR grid? Yes, there's a lot of drivers with rear-wheel experience around. But Creed has not made this easy for the 91 with 4 to go.
I remember Brenton just came out I believe off the Tulsa shootout, where unfortunately Sheldon didn't actually qualify, and his cousin Braden qualified. Sheldon had a couple seconds that night. I was kind of keeping an eye on these boys, watching all the disciplines there. And speaking of Braden, you can see him there trying to move up in that air taking machine. Minder and that KB Engineering, Polaris Razor, on board, watching the battle unfold in front of him.
Braden quietly is just picking the spots up 5 spots. And keep in mind, Connor Berry, he's not in the concert stand. He's not spinning like this truck here in Grady. He's pulling away from all of that. Once again, Grady got spun out there from the top 5, while Berry has pulled away nearly 1.5 seconds. Grady, for reference, is back to 16th with the spin.
Well, I can tell you right now, DraftKings going to start getting some company there as Felix Roy starts to come up on him. Sheldon Creed right in tow there. 3 laps to go here in the main event as they click down. It happens fast, I'll tell you, Justin. This is the quickest track that I've ever been around, is the short track here at Crandon, and it just happens. You just, where the time goes, what these drivers say, it happens so quickly.
Down to the final 2 laps. for this fourth round of the season. And despite some of the bumping early on, this has been one of the calmest rounds of the whole season in regards to incidents and attrition. But one thing to note, the drivers who got shuffled towards the back. Prater, who had a bad launch early on, is up in the top 10. Keaton Swain has only gotten to 13th. Crystal King to 14th. So the recovery drives, they haven't panned out the greatest tonight.
Well, it's still about points there. We're still early in the season. Every point matters at this point.
Coming up to the white flag. White flag now taken, in fact, by Connor Berry. Final time around for the 28. Connor Berry continues what has been a domination station type of month. All of this as well. Second is still up for grabs. Sheldon Creed with a good chance to try and rip third away on the final time around.
Drapkin's holding his own right now, that's for sure. Time is running out. Only 2 more big turns to go. If you're going to make a move, you got to make it now. Coming into Claveny Corner.
Anyone try and be daring enough to do so? We've seen the ramifications once tonight. No major sends. Connor Berry, another fist pump, another victory. Connor Berry wins at Crandon Shore. Drapkin, Roy, Creed, the top 4. Ethan Ebert, above a gecko on his head, finishes in 5th. Minder with a season drive in 6th. Braden finishes in 7th. An impressive run tonight. In the end, Swain got to 12th. Prater to 8th. What a night, Dave. What a night as we take a look at the race results.
I'm so pumped for Connor Berry taking it there, but Drapkin, talked about him early on. I knew it was a matter of time he was going to the podium, and Felix Roy, we left him out in the beginning, then we talked about him because he was so great to see him up in 3rd, but Sheldon Creed and Ethan Ebert, great to see them in the top 5 there with Minder, Cheramani, Prater, kind of shocked on that one, and Hardesty and Ratzliff too in the top 10.
11th spot went to Josh Lay with Swain in 12th position. Miller did make it to 13th. King 14th. 7-0, Grady, Carpenter, Lindner rounded out the drivers in the field. Tonight's feature. 18 laps, 18 trucks, 18 finish. A land rush filled run of action. But for Connor Berry, it's another one to add to the trophy case. Another victory on the season. Connor Berry joins us at the broadcast booth. Another dominating one for you tonight. You were one of the quickest drivers all evening. How does it feel to add another feature win to your points totals and build your lead even bigger now?
For sure. That was fun. I knew if I was going to struggle one night that it would be here. This track is just so weird to me, and I just don't understand it much. So it showed in my qualifying run. I got 4th, but I knew if I could just be smart and consistent that I could still be up front, and yeah, I got it done.
Wait, hold on. You still qualified 4th. You still won by more than 2 seconds of the feature, and that's struggling.
I mean, it isn't my favorite track. It for sure pushed me more. Zach was fast at the start, and I knew that he would be fast here. So I was just trying to be just smart and consistent, and I knew if I could just lead till after lap 10, then I would be good because I have my truck set for the end, and yeah.
So great momentum now for you. You enter as the points leader. You exit with an even bigger buffer as a result, heading into a track where, for those keeping an eye on some of the short course cup action, was a whirlwind. Wild West Motorsports Park, a track where half the field at one point managed to flip in some of the heats. Your thoughts on racing that on February the 10th after some real world action coming up?
Yeah, for sure. February 10th is going to be good. It's one of my favorite tracks, and I guess all of the rest of the tracks are my favorite. So I think it's going to be a good second half. So just gotta keep being smart and consistent. I have been on the podium for all 4 of the rounds, so just gotta keep them going.
Who do you want to thank for your run tonight in that blue and black machine?
I would like to give a big thanks to Jim Beaver Esports. All of the guys are just putting in work, and it's cool to see me and Roy go first and third again. So that was cool. Another thanks to CBR, General Tire, Vision Wheel, Next Level Racing, and all of you guys for the stream, and all of my admins and staff.
Congratulations once again on another victory and another podium to add to the season total.
Thank you, guys.
Connor Berry, very strong run tonight. And again, very interesting how winning by only 2 seconds is a disappointment. Zachary Drapkin, meanwhile, finished in that second spot. Days with him.
Zach Drapkin, it has been a time since we got to talk to you. You've been such a regular over the last couple of seasons, but it took you a few rounds to get your groove back. And I'll tell you, watching your face on that sim, you were just in this trance, just saying, I'm going to make a podium.
Yeah, this race was really one that I had to put my head down. I knew that the points race was going to stretch every single race. It was going to get bigger and bigger if I didn't put my head down finally. So this one came together. I put tons of laps in with Connor. If you noticed, me and Connor always have the greatest of battles. I love battling with the kid. He's just so fast, so smooth, and it's always fun. It's not like this is a simulator, but I always like racing with Connor because he makes it feel like it's real life. He knows that I'll respect him and he'll respect me. So I think really that's what my head was just set. I knew that I could run with Connor and be smooth and be fast the whole night. And towards the end of the race, when he got a little gap on me, my head kind of went a little fuzzy, and that's where I lost my gap, and I almost lost second. But was able to bring it back. Had to get a little dory, but it's always good, always fun to come back to iRacing short course and do it like we do.
Well, Connor said this is not one of his best tracks out there, and you seem to be right on him for a while. It shows you spent some time together. What are your thoughts on the short track? It's so quick, it's so tight, and I mean, if you don't get in the front, it's pretty much hard to finish on a podium.
So this is actually my favorite track. I've always loved the land rush. It's like my favorite thing to do. Crandon long, Crandon short, my favorite track. The short track I feel like is my best track over the two because it's my type of driving. It's tight, technical, and it's not the fastest driver is going to win. It's the smoothest. So I think that this kind of track is really where I can advance, and I think I could have got Connor if I had not made a couple mistakes, but the kid was on rails, and so was Felix. It was all around great battle between the top three.
Well, just looking at you and seeing the smile on your face, it feels like elation. The monkey or the 500-pound gorilla is off your back finally. You're on the box, and it's your turn to give love to the people that get you there.
It's all about the love with my sponsors. These guys make my truck look so good. I got to give Shane 92 Designs for designing this wrap. He did a great job. iRacing Short Course, Redline Oil, Signature Repellers, Weddle Transaxle, Winter Motorsports, Skydive Elsinore, CBR, Competitive Edge, and I got to give a big shout out to the Redline guys. As you can see, they got me rocking the nice, pretty polo. So just a big shout out to them, my whole family, and really just everybody that backs me. And this is just so much fun to come out every Thursday night and come out and just battle. It's the great way to end the week off before going into Friday. So I'm excited about next week. I think I can hopefully carry some momentum and keep up with the con.
Well, congratulations. Great to see you up here, Zach, buddy.
Thanks, Dave.
Once again, Zachary Drapkin coming home in second tonight in the feature. Third spot went tonight to Felix Roy. And we'll give a quick plug, a shout out to those watching along from a certain hotel room. And Evan Pizzoco and Joshua Lee. Of course, Evan Pizzoco called some of the action and has been calling some of the action involving Jim Beaver Esports action. Speaking of Jim Beaver Esports, one of the drivers in Felix Roy finished in third tonight. Felix, you're able to hold off Sheldon Creed down the stretch. How does that feel?
It feels good. Definitely knew I got speed at the end of the race. I was catching Zach and even passed him in the gravel pit. He got out of the banking, passed him clean, and next corner just blow my door to pass me back. Well, yeah, still happy with third place.
What made the short course, in your opinion, well, short configuration, should say, trickier compared to, say, the long configuration, because the laps were quick, but it seemed it wasn't quite as easy in some circumstances to have those chances to make moves.
Oh yeah, definitely more tight. You got less space to work with. Definitely like short tracks because it's really technical. Yeah.
So there is an off week now for this season, for this series, should say. But you do have some stuff going on Monday. Opinions going into that finale of your first time up in iRacing World of Outlaws Nossener Drink Sprint Car World Championship Series competition for this team.
Yeah, definitely gonna put some laps Sunday and Monday coming after school. Definitely. Trying to get in the feature and just trying to do a top 10 for the last race of the season would be great. Up 20 in the point standing, so I'm 20 in the point standing. So, I mean, I don't think I'll be locked in the top 15 this year, unfortunately, but definitely next year I'll try.
What do you want to thank for your run tonight?
Definitely my team, Jim Beaver Esport, Connor Barry helping me with the sets with Josh Edmondson. I'd like to thank my sponsor, Case Lojoyal, you for the good broadcast, and yep, that's it.
Congratulations once again on another podium back-to-back, in fact.
Thank you.
Phil Troy rounds out the top three. I'd like to thank him, Zachary Drapkin, and Connor Berry for taking the time to speak with us during tonight's post-race coverage. And next time out will be February the 10th after some rearwheel action goes on next week in the short course scene. After that, it's Wild West Motorsports Park who will play host to action at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, approximate Thursday, February the 10th once more. Again, that's the midway portion of the season. It's a track where buckle up, because if you aren't careful, you're doing cartwheels down the hillsides. Once again, be sure to tune in Podium Esports for our coverage, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, to be able to tune in for that action. And tonight's round, another strong performance for Barry. Some strong performances from drivers like Rapkin, Roy. We talked a lot about Creed. Your opinions on how tonight fared out in turn, though, in general, Dave?
Well, I mean, for what Connor Berry's saying, this not being his favorite track, it really showed well on there. But, you know, Zach Drapkin said it's his favorite track, and you can see he hung with him. Barry did get a little gap on him. I said, this track is going to be fast. It did not disappoint. Those laps burned so quickly. It's just an exciting time watching these drives, but great to have Sheldon Creed, Brandon Chiramani joining us there. Man, so stoked to see Felix Roy finally getting up there, and Zach Drapkin finally getting that monkey off his back.
Yes, indeed. And see if in turn he's able to maybe borrow the gecko from Ebert, who had a great run in fifth. Minder having a career run of the season, best run of the season, you should say, in sixth. Prater having a rough one, though, in eighth, and several more.
Swain.
Yeah, and Swain, the biggest of them all. Having that crash, that really set him back in the points after getting that mulligan with what happened with the last round and what happened in turn after. Now that kind of gets mitified and mitigated, should say, after tonight.
Well, they're going to have a week to think about it, then return, like you said, to one of my favorite tracks, going up to Reno, Wild West Motorsports Park. Man, it is exciting. Big elevation changes, high speed, coming down that hill over 100 miles an hour is going to be exciting. But you know, next week we got King of the Hammers going on, so we're going to take a break. I know Connor's going to be up there. A lot of these drivers are going to go check it out. And I just want to tell everybody, if you get a chance, turn into either Dirt Sports World, King of the Hammers, or speedsport.tv. You can check out some of the coverage, and Ralph Shaheen and myself will be doing the post show Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 8 p.m. Pacific. Check it out. We'll recap what's going on out at the Hammers. 9 days of craziness in Johnson Valley are going to unfold. So hopefully you guys all check it out there, but I'll be definitely ready for some short course on February 10th.
I can't wait to see how the real world action, though, turns out. I'm going to be one of those tuning in for sure, as well as many of the others watching along tonight, to say the very least. But speaking of how things fared out tonight, we'd like to give special thanks once again to those on your screen, including the music provided by Like Divided, as well as the admin crew of iRacing Short Course National Series competition, as well as those from Podium Esports, including Ryan Bauer, James Pike, Cisco Scaramuza, Gary Sexton, John Theodore. Track cameras provided by the great Dougie Beer, as well as our software providers, as well as the rest of our staff, including Cameron Auberon and Nicholas Weatherby on social media for this evening's action. Again, an intriguing night of racing. Plenty to keep an eye on in the future. Keep in mind, it's a busy next few days in the iRacing world. PCA action on Sunday comes to January 30th because Road America hosts the Team Racing Series at 1:15 p.m. Catch it on YouTube at PCA Sim Racing. Then Monday Night Racing looks to see who will battle for a championship in person in Charlotte. There runs for RTG and Pro Series competition in the Super Late Models at Nashville Super Speedway. Who will be able to perform and be able to hit the right chords with their guitars. Find out starting at 7 p.m. Eastern on Podium Esports. Then Opmo iRacing League competition heads to VIR February the 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Be sure to tune in for that special coverage. YouTube.com/Operation Motorsport. And oh, by the way, Eswell did have a schedule change that will see them race at Talladega next instead. That'll be February the 2nd, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, twitch.tv/Podium Esports. Buckle up, it should be a wild ride, and no, I'm not in the field this time. There will not be a big one before we get to the green flag on lap 1. On that note, we'd like to thank you for tuning in for tonight's coverage and our sponsors for this series: CBR Performance Products, AIM Sports Data, Super Clean, Dirt Sports World, Signature Propellers, Positive Beverage, and Smith Graphics for their support of iRacing Short Course Series competition. For my broadcast partner tonight, Dave Arnold, I'm Justin Prince. Thank you so much for watching tonight's action. See you in a couple weeks' time from Wild West.